Hey, ski moms, we know you love to stay organized, even when you're not chasing powder. That's why we're big fans of Mabel's labels. You already trust them to keep your ski gear out of the lost and found. And now they're your back-to-school secret weapon, too. From lunch boxes to water bottles, backpacks to hoodies, Mabel's labels are durable, waterproof, and mom-approved. No more digging through the school's lost and found bin. Everything comes back home. And right now, Mabel's Labels is offering 15% off site-wide just for our Ski Moms community. Use code SKIMOMS at checkout and get your family prepped for the school year. Shop now at mabelslabels.com and start the year organized. Please note, some exclusions apply on the discount. Welcome back to the Ski Moms podcast. It's season 5 and we're hitting the slopes. We're sharing real, unfiltered stories of motherhood on the snow. From conquering the bunny hill with toddlers to squeezing in your own powder days, this season celebrates every type of ski mom. Thanks for joining us. We've got a great season lined up, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Sarah and I are back with our Listen Again series, and we want you to listen again or take a listen to our chat with the folks from Bogus Basin. Bogus Basin is a nonprofit ski area, and it's located in Idaho, just outside of Boise. Sarah, were you surprised by this one?
I love this one. You know, it was the drive there from Boise. Well, I guess backing up, Nicole and I went to Boise this winter, and it blew away our expectations. It was a beautiful town. We had great food. We had great drinks. And this mountain specifically is this winding switchback, 16-mile, stunning drive up to Bogus Basin. Once you get there, it was just very easy. You walk right from the parking lot a few steps to the rentals. That was very well run. And then you walk right out to the lifts. So we loved it from that standpoint as well.
And we talked to Susan Saad in this interview. She's the Director of Community and Customer Relations. She's been there for over 10 years, and she really talks to us about the nonprofit model. When we were there, we saw all different types of skiers, a lot of families. They have incredibly affordable season passes, and they also participate in the Idaho Ski Passport program, where 5th and 6th graders can ski basically for free for the season, which is pretty awesome. But there's something that they highlighted, the Teen Pass for $419. Your kid gets an unlimited pass. And they also, as I was writing about it, they have great programs where they will have shuttles driving you from Boise up to the top. So, you know, if you don't want to take your teen up there, you could drop them off at the shuttle to do this. And it was really old school. You know, the food isn't expensive. You're not going to spend $22.50 for chili when you're up there. They had really fun terrain parks. They had a tubing hill. We really liked the vibe. And they had also sunk some serious money into the infrastructure. They had some high-speed lifts there, but it still felt like a family resort.
Yeah, and I think what's impressive about this as well is it's 2,600 acres, and it's Idaho's second largest ski resort. And I think, you know, not as well known to many of us as Sun Valley, but definitely an option that we were really excited to explore and that we would go back to again.
Yeah, if we're planning our ideal trip, I think you would fly in, definitely stay and ski a day at Bogus Basin and check out Boise, which also was a real upside surprise. They had that beautiful running path along the river. They had that very scrubbed, fresh, and growing university right in town. We stayed at a hotel that had been recently renovated. It was an old train hotel, the Avery. Highly recommend that.
Yeah, we had great meals. We loved walking around there. Like Boise was much more than I would have ever expected. It was easy to get to. The airport was close. We talk about that a lot. And the hotel itself had the Avery Hotel. The rooms were beautiful. The bathrooms were beautiful. Boutique hotel.
Great cocktails. I love that. And we had the freestanding tub in some of the rooms. That was awesome. And it's Guru Donuts. Do not miss the opportunity to go get a Guru donut while you're in Boise.
Yes, we had one of those before we went out skiing one day, and they were a real treat.
So plan a trip to Ski Idaho. Don't miss this particular resort, Bogus Basin. Give it a listen. And again, thank you to Susan and the folks at Ski Idaho who welcomed us on this trip. The Ski Moms are super excited today to welcome Susan Saad. She is the Director of Community and Customer Relations at Bogus Basin Mountain Recreation Area. And we are excited to talk to her. Our focus this year has really been on some of these mountains that are bringing community back into the ski culture. And we want to talk to her about how they do that at her home mountain and how she got there. So, Susan, we always kick things off with hearing your origin story. How did it all start, your love affair with snow and the mountains?
Well, Bogus Basin is just in the backdrop of the Treasure Valley in Boise, Idaho. It's just been a huge part of this community for over 80 years. And so it's, a big part of the lifestyle here. Boise is just a real outdoorsy place. And so when I did not ski actually when I moved here after college, but my husband grew up on Bogus Basin Road, and he's the one that introduced me to skiing and all the things available to us at the mountain.
So tell us a little bit for those of us that aren't familiar with Bogus Basin Mountain Recreation Area, where we would find it and how we would get there.
Sure. Well, Bogus Basin is located just 16 miles north of Boise, downtown Boise, Idaho. You can actually see the mountain from downtown. And so it's about 45 minutes from downtown. We have large area, 2,600 skiable acres. So it's just the backdrop of our community.
I do think of Boise as outdoorsy. I think of it as people running around in sort of clothing that dries quickly. And do you find that you're getting an influx of new, they wouldn't be millennials, they'd be like Gen Zers now. Is it a community that's growing because you do offer this culture that is so outdoorsy and so healthy?
Yeah, since, in the last 10 years, the growth in Boise and the Treasure Valley has been explosive. I think we're just discovered. As a matter of fact, there was just an article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday about Boise as this amazing destination in the Pacific Northwest. And so we have had people of all ages and backgrounds come to the area, a lot of them drawn here because of Bogus Basin. Additionally, we have some really large corporations here that attract great employees who are looking to have a good job with the amenities available to them to get to the outdoors. And so for a variety of reasons, Boise and Bogus Basin are a big attraction.
And going back to your ski origin story, you said you didn't start skiing till, did you say you were in your 20s?
Yeah, in my 20s, I moved out here to Boise, actually sight unseen. I lived in the Pacific in Portland at the time, and shortly thereafter met my husband, who had grown up skiing at Bogus Basin with his family. He taught me how to ski at the time and grew to love it. And then we had two kids who were essentially raised on the mountain. We spent, every weekend up at Bogus Basin with them. They both ended up having their first jobs at Bogus Basin, and just a huge part of our family, as it is for so many other families here.
And then, so most of your time would be spent as a family skiing at Bogus Basin, but did you also travel around to other resorts, whether in Idaho or elsewhere?
Yeah, well, Idaho is home to 18 different ski areas. And so there are three other areas within just 2 or 3 hours from us. Sun Valley, of course, the international destination, and there's some other up north of us. And so always fun to try new areas.
And you've been with Bogus Basin now for 10 years. Tell us a little about your career path and how your career has grown at Bogus Basin.
That's a great question. Bogus Basin has changed phenomenally since I started 10 years ago. At the time, I actually started as a volunteer. I became a member of our association, which is a group of 100 individuals from the community who serve as volunteers and ambassadors for the organization because we are uniquely a 501c3 nonprofit. I began as a volunteer on the association because I loved the area and wanted to contribute in ways that I could, and then was shortly thereafter invited to join the board, and then shortly thereafter invited to join the team at Bogus Basin 10 years ago. And that was a time of transition for us as an organization. We had back in 2014 experienced a number of low snow years. We lacked a strategic plan for the future, and we really didn't have a roadmap for who we were and where we fit in the community. So We got a new general manager at the time, Brad Wilson, who is an industry veteran, came out from Diamond Peak in Lake Tahoe. And he was charged with really identifying, developing a master plan for the area that would kind of set us on a course for success, which it did. So in the last 10 years, we have added full summer operations. We have added a robust snowmaking system, the second largest in the state of Idaho. And we have made over $70 million in infrastructure improvements, which is a pretty amazing thing given that we're a 501c3 and don't have outside investors to help with those efforts and the funding of that.
Yeah, so what happens to dollars earned? It just gets pumped right back into the mountain rather than providing shareholder value. I guess to a few people, it's providing shareholder value to the entire community, it sounds like.
Totally, totally. So as a 501c3 profit, all earnings go back into the area, and our decisions are driven by our nonprofit mission, which is to engage the community in affordable, accessible, and fun year-round recreation and education. And so that is the filter through which we make decisions as we are expanding and growing and evolving the area to accommodate the community.
And can you describe what the area looks like if we're driving in from Boise, what we'd expect to see?
Sure. Well, when you drive into or fly into the community of Boise, if you're doing it after in the evening, you will immediately see the lights of Bogus Basin lighting up the backdrop of the community. So you know exactly where we are. We do not have housing accommodations up at the area. So we have 3 lodges. Our facilities have been through a lot of upgrades over the last several years, but most people stay down in the Treasure Valley in Boise, and it's a 45-minute drive up to the area.
Okay, so you pull in, is there one area that would be designated for, let's say, beginners or young families, and then maybe another area where you would pull in to start your afternoon if you're going to ski after, let's say, after doing a little bit of work in the morning? Where do we kind of start our day at Bogus Basin?
Yeah, well, as you arrive at the area, you will immediately notice our main area lodge, the Simplot Lodge. And that is really where the hub of activities occurs in the summer and winter. That is where our ski school is located, and that is where all of our summer activities are located. Tickets, we have 2 eating facilities there. The Simplot Lodge has full food and beverage service, as well as it's called the Double R Ranch Barbecue Smokehouse, which is a great kind of outdoor venue that's on a big plaza that's heated with fire features and things like that. So you start there at the hub. Our rentals and tickets are available right there. So that is really where you can get started. We have several parking lots at the area, a handful of ski in, ski out lots. And so there are a lot of choices where you start. But essentially, if it's your first visit to Bogus Basin, you'd come up to that main Simplot Lodge entrance and begin your experience there.
Ski moms, it's that time of year again. Junior lease scheduling at the Ski House kicks off Saturday, September 6th. And if you've got kids 16 or under, you'll need to book an appointment for each one. Appointments start September 20th at all 3 Ski House locations: Salem, New Hampshire, Framingham, Mass., and Woburn, Mass. And the junior lease includes skis or a snowboard, boots, and bindings. And you've got to check out these amazing bonuses with every lease. Your family's going to get a free junior season pass to Tenny Mountain for kids 16 and under, a free junior lift ticket to Cranmore Mountain, 2 discounted adult lift tickets to Tenny Mountain, and $25 in in-house cash back when you pick up your gear on time. Spots fill fast, so head to skihouse.com, that's skihaus.com, to book your appointments and get your family slope ready.
And you mentioned that there's now activities year round at Bogus Basin. So can you just walk us through what would be available during the different seasons?
Yeah, we are a 4-season area, which was really, as we implemented this master plan, our goal was to become really this amazing year-round destination. And so in the summer, we're just winding up our summer operations. We're open 7 days a week during high season. We have Idaho's only mountain coaster, which is a kind of a roller coaster that is built for ski areas. It pulls you up on a track, and then you come down through 300 60-degree turns. So that's our anchor activity. We have a huge number of free events throughout the summer, free music on the mountain concerts, music on the patio. We have yoga on the mountain. We have tubing hill chairlift rides. We have a downhill mountain bike park. Boise is a big mountain biking community, and so that's been a lot of fun. And a lot of hiking and cross country mountain biking trails are accessed right from the base area. Last year, we put in a challenge course, the Mineshaft Challenge course, and it is a 3-level aerial adventure course that's super exciting, kind of a challenge by choice activity that has zip lines and different number of features and obstacles. So something for everybody.
I love a good mountain coaster and barbecue and mountain coaster. That is, you're definitely speaking my ski area love language. Being such an integral part of the community seems to be the mission. One of the things we talk about a lot on the podcast is trying to get the next generation up and running. How are you working with local schools, local community clubs and groups to get more kids and young adults out skiing and learning the sport we all love?
Yeah, that's a great question and really kind of speaks to the heart of Bogus Basin as part of the community. We have for decades had a range of programs that allow us to try and introduce every kid a chance to get up to Bogus Basin. You could see the lights right from town. We believe that every kid in and the Treasure Valley should have a chance to visit Bogus Basin at least once. And so some of the long time running programs we have are in collaboration with schools because that's the best way to access at scale kids who can come up collectively. And so last year through our school nights and life sports programs, we had over 3,000 kids come up, and they come up as a classroom on a school bus from their school. The package that we offer is significantly subsidized. I think it's around $40 for a ticket, a 90-minute lesson, as well as equipment rental. And so they spend half a day up at the area learning with our amazing instructors. And for many, it is the first time trying it out. And for a lot, it is really a life-changing experience to get to do that.
That's an incredible number, 3,000 kids. I have to believe that's a significant portion of the kids in Boise.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a lot, and we have a lot of other programs too. Our school race program started. This is actually the 65th anniversary of our school racing program, and that is similar. Over a period of 6 weekends, 6 Saturdays, students from throughout the area come up and do fun and friendly races with a variety of competitions. So a lot of kids get to participate in that. And of course, in all of our programs, we have a scholarship component. And so we will fully scholarship schools who need it. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite stories from last season was an elementary school in a community called Nampa, which is about 20 miles from Boise. And Title I school, many of the kids had not been up to Bogus Basin before, didn't have those opportunities. And it announced that that school was going to be closed. And they really wanted to have one last special outing for those elementary age students. And so they reached out to us and we were able to fully scholarship 87 of them to come up. So completely no charge to them. And it was amazing. The counselor who worked with our group sales coordinator, she cried on the phone when she learned that they were going to be able to do this and have this special outing for the kids. And I know it'll be something that they remember forever. So we were really happy to be able to do that for them.
Mountains that go above and beyond like that really make a huge difference. One of the things we talked about when I learned about Bogus Basin was the way you reach out to homeschoolers in the area, which I thought was very cool. And I'd love to shine a light on how it's a relatively small community, but how you're working with them to create a space that's welcoming and inviting.
I'm glad you asked about that. So we have always had homeschool Fridays is what's referred to. So we would have, different families who homeschooled. Maybe if they knew each other, they would come up and have a group lesson together. But we noticed after their pandemic, there was a significant spike in the number of homeschool families who were reaching out for lessons. So we developed a program where the families are actually grouped together. So essentially, they can sign up collectively, almost like its own school, to come up and participate in lessons. And It was a series of 4 lessons, so not just a one-off. So they committed to a series of 4 lessons. They received the same discounts that the school groups did. And what we found that this was a great way for the families to connect with other families that they may not have known. Getting into the outdoors and nature and skiing and doing those types of things is such a community building activity that it was phenomenal to be able to bring these homeschooling parents together. So that first year we had over 800 students participate in the program. So the response was overwhelming. We were thrilled to be able to create this new network and group and community to come up together and have fun on the mountain.
Okay, wait. 800 homeschooling skiers, which means that you're drawing from a huge homeschool population. What is going on in Boise? Is it known as the homeschool capital of the US?
I would connect it to the pandemic. So much changed after the pandemic. The way that we function as an organization changed after the pandemic or during the pandemic because people wanted so badly to access the outdoors and nature, but we needed to make it a space where they felt safe and comfortable to the level that they wanted to. And so there was this surge in homeschooling, and I think that the networks among them built, and I think we were just able to tap into that network that grew from the pandemic as well.
Sarah and I know a local family here in Vermont that's doing homeschool this particular year because of some family dynamics and travel. And it was really interesting talking to her about her decision that she felt more confident because she had a really strong ski program to anchor with this homeschooling. So, and I find that's really interesting that she's not alone. And I think this could really be something that mountains could work on to create these third spaces of communities for homeschoolers.
That's great. Yeah, this whole phenomena of loneliness in our country that is a conversation that we're having. We believe that we're a solution to that. I mean, just from a, mental health perspective and to be able to take, 830 some of these kids who may not, like other traditional students, have as much opportunity to socialize and interact in a positive, healthy, meaningful way. It's pretty cool. We're pretty proud of the program.
And for new families, it sounds as if it's a place where you could expand your network pretty quickly. You could grow some roots.
Yeah, yeah. You plug in many different ways up at Bogus Basin to familiarize yourself with the community and connect with like-minded individuals who enjoy the winter and summer activities in the outdoors.
Before we leave the educational component, I did want to ask you about the environmental education program that you run there at Bogus Basin.
Yeah, so environmental education and stewardship is a huge part of what we do at Bogus Basin. We believe that, kind of making sure that the kids and adults, for that matter, really appreciate, understand the connection between nature and the importance of it and taking care of it and preserving it to sustain it for future generations. And so we employ 2 full-time environmental educators, stewardship and sustainability coordinator, as well as an environmental education coordinator. And they, in a whole separate, kind of program and track at the mountain, engage thousands of students and individuals in science-based learning programs on the mountain. The anchor flagship program is a program called Snow School. And we do that partnership in collaboration with the Winter Wildlands Alliance. We were actually the area where the program was developed, and this is the 20th anniversary. There's 70 sites across the country, and Bogus Basin Snow School is by far the host of the most kids. We have over 2,000 kids that come up as part of our snow school program. And what happens is that, again, the kids come up on a school bus and they put on snowshoes. We have a Nordic center, our Frontier Point Nordic Center is a gateway to Nordic skiing, snowshoeing, and then a hub for environmental education programs. And so the kids will come up, put on snowshoes, and they do a variety of activities covering the watershed, water cycle, avalanche science, depth and density measurements, and snowflake creation. So they learn on the mountain things that they are also learning in science class, and they build that into the curriculum and continue the learning on it after the fact. But to be able to come up and kind of make a personal connection on the mountain with what you're learning in science has been just a amazing opportunity. And so we're super happy to be able to offer those programs to the kids.
That's amazing that you have two people, two full-time
You
resources
know,
dedicated to
and
that.
they have volunteers. Boise State University is here locally. They have some programs that we collaborate with. So the two people, kind of, they will get a couple seasonal employees as well as a host of volunteers who come up and dedicate their time to make sure that these kids are up exploring and learning about the natural world around them.
So, Sarah, that's what you can do when you're not worried about your share price. They're pumping all of this money into job creation and skier creation. Again, tremendous return on investor value by your local community. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other activities at Bogus Basin. I know we talked a little bit about summer and what you could do there, but in the winter, I believe that you also offer some snowshoeing, some Nordic skiing.
Absolutely. So we have, just to kind of paint a picture of Bogus Basin, because although it is a back, in our backyard, it truly is not just a little backyard ski hill. We encompass 2,600 skiable acres, which puts us at the second largest in Idaho behind Schweitzer Mountain up in northern Idaho. And then Sun Valley by skiable acres is number three. So we are there is a large area to cover, a lot of great terrain on which we've made a lot of improvements. So we have our alpine skiing, and then we have our Frontier Point Nordic Center that I described to you, and that accesses 26 kilometers for Nordic skiing, traditional cross country and skate skiing. There's a robust Bogus Basin Nordic team that has kids up there practicing throughout the winter at nights that do competitive sports. And then that is for snowshoeing as well. For people who don't want to strap something onto their feet, we have a tubing hill. And the tubing hill in the winter is a great activity for families that may not have tried skiing or that's not their thing. And then we have our two other lodges. We have our Simplot Base Lodge, and then we have a Mid-Mountain Lodge, the Pioneer Lodge, that is a little closer to the backside of the mountain where the more expert terrain is located.
Well, first of all, that's incredible that this is the second largest ski resort in Idaho. And I wanted to understand more about the terrain. Is there a learning area? Is there a terrain park? What would we expect to find there for different
Yeah.
abilities?
Yeah, great question, and really exciting question right now, because this summer we are replacing not one but two chairlifts that serve largely beginner terrain. We have a coach beginner chairlift that is essentially our bunny hill, that was a fixed grip two-person quad that has been there for decades. Now it is a beautiful brand new SkyTrack four-person chairlift that is twice the length. We have extended and widened the run that it serves so that we will be able to accommodate and provide a enhanced beginner experience. And then the other chairlift that we're replacing is in what is known as the Bitterroot Basin, and that also accesses very family-friendly terrain. We have built out the runs in that area, and we have plans to implement features in there that involve trolls and gnomes. There's a legend at Bogus Basin. As you're driving up the area, up the 16 miles, you go over a cattle guard at about mile 3. And the longtime legend is that there are trolls living under that cattle guard. And so as you're driving up the hill, you'll see people honk their horns or stick their hand out the window or sometimes open the door of their car, which we do not condone. And the legend is you're letting the troll out or in your car to go up to Bogus Basin and then come back down. So we are going to build on that troll theme. That's been a fun legend at the area, and have some fun little features in our Bitterroot Basin area and in around the mountain.
This is the second time this season we're talking about trolls on the podcast. So that is very interesting. And I love a good local legend, and we love kid-friendly trails. Sarah and I have been known to ski through the teepees and high five the Yetis. We find that when we're skiing, we really tap into our youthful core. And I think it's great that those things are provided. When we think about Idaho, I have skied in Sun Valley. What are we going to expect with this from the snow? Is it more a dry powder, or are we gonna get more of the West Coast moisture in the snow? What do you kind of expect there?
We have a great number of powder days up at Bogus Basin. We've been super lucky the last 4 or 5 years and had incredible snow years. Last year was a challenge at the beginning. The snow came late. And as part of our master plan 10 years ago, I mentioned that we were able to introduce snowmaking at the area. And so we have now the second largest snowmaking system in the state behind Sun Valley. And we are able to kind of offset, those moments when, early season moments when we don't have the snow. Spring skiing is always incredible, and we are uniquely situated. We're a 360-degree mountain, so you can literally ski all the way around the mountain. And so you can follow the sun as you're going around the mountain, and so start off in the morning where the sun hits it early. And then over the course of the afternoon and the day, hit it late. And then, of course, move into the night skiing. There's a point on the mountain when there actually the moon rising and the sun setting can be seen at the same time from a chairlift. It's phenomenal.
So you mentioned night skiing. Is night skiing every day of the week? When can we expect the lights to go on?
The lights go on a couple weeks after our season starts. So our season start is around Thanksgiving. And then in early December, we turn those lights on 7 days a week until 10 p.m. And really night skiing at Bogus Basin is, speaks to our mission. We, for those individuals that may not be able to afford the full pass, we have night skiing. Last year, a night skiing ticket for an adult was $19 to ski from 6 to 10 p.m. A full season pass for night skiing was $99. And so it is a price point that is amazing. And it is just, an incredible product. We have over 200 acres available for night skiing, serving all types of terrain. And so it's a really special and unique experience that people enjoy here and that we try to keep as affordable as we can to fulfill that mission that we have for as being a nonprofit.
You jumped on the pass pricing, so let's dig into that a little bit more. Do you partner with any of the larger passes, an Icon, Altera? Do you partner with, let's see, with Indie Pass, Mountain Collective, or are your guests only buying day tickets or getting a Bogus Basin specific season pass?
We have our premium pass called the True Bogus Season Pass, and that season pass is year round, so it gains you access to the lifts in the summer and winter. Additionally, we partner with the Powder Alliance and have a number of independent mountains that we individually reach out to to build reciprocal agreements. And so there is no extra charge or buy on to access those mountains.
And are there passes that are geared towards those college students? You mentioned that there was a local college in town, or towards seniors, or towards families with young kids. How are you creating products that speak specifically to different demographics?
So Boise State University, they have over 20,000 students and they are located in downtown Boise, Idaho. And so, as we have kind of reimagined and strengthened the organization over these last 10 years, we realized that we didn't have, a large connection with the university. With Boise State University, the College of Idaho is a small private college located close to here. And so we created at the time a college season pass, which now has transitioned into a, a young adult pass. Essentially, anyone that proves that they are going to school and taking a certain number of credits qualify for discounts. And offer also for seniors, we offer a senior discount, and then deeply discounted or lower price tickets for children.
One of the questions that came up in our Facebook community, we have about 15,000 women in this community right now. We were talking about the new passes were coming out and the college passes, and a woman had asked about, do those passes also work for training programs? He was in, I guess her son was in an apprentice training program, and she was asking if I knew, and I did not know the answer, but maybe you do. So if you're in a plumbing or electrical or some other training program, would that qualify?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Technical schools, any school where you are enrolled as a student and can demonstrate that you have a certain number of credit hours that you're committing will qualify you for that student discount.
Yeah, the ski moms are big proponents of technical schools. I think that it's a great way to invest in talent, and we need those kind of technical skills on the mountains specifically. We love hearing about programs that are raising lift mechanics up, or they're training, the next level of operators of the big machines out on the mountains.
We employ 600 individuals in the winter, seasonal employees. Our full-time employees, they span vehicle maintenance, mechanical things, driving snowcats. I mean, their heavy equipment operating is something that we rely on as a skill set among our employees. And so, if we can help build those types of skills in our community by offering those types of passes, then we're happy to do it.
So if someone was in Boise and they've never skied and they're thinking, this sounds great, do they need a car to get out there? And are there packages that would get them up and ready with lessons and rentals and a lift ticket?
Yeah, so we have a beginner lesson package. In the winter, we provide weekend public transportation. That is, it goes up once in the morning and down once in the afternoon. We have a carpool lot that's available in downtown Boise. And so when you are enrolled in ski lessons, you do have access to our main parking lot, allowing you a closer proximity to the hub, the base area where you would pick up your equipment and your ticket and things like that. So the beginner lesson packages are very affordably priced. For residents here, we have a passport package, which is a series of 4 lessons that you take. It includes the equipment, a season lease, and once you complete those lessons, you get a season pass. So that is a really popular way to kind of build new users to the activities as well.
We know that a great ski instructor can make or break the experience. I have a feeling that Boise has some experienced skiers in its community. How are you attracting them to Bogus Basin? And tell us a little bit about the instructors that are making the magic happen on mountain.
Yeah, well, we have an amazing ski and snowboard school team with, incredible people overseeing it. And we serve around 20,000 individuals who are learning to ski per season. And because of our proximity to the community, it is much easier for us to attract long-term and committed ski instructors who come back again and again and again. And so we have over 25 level 3 instructors at Bogus Basin, which is significantly more than is typically because often those individuals don't live in the communities that the ski area serves, can't afford to live in the areas that the ski area serves. So it's a wonderful team of people who their winters are dedicated to building the craft, lifelong learners themselves. There's no ski instructor that I have met or skied with that doesn't continue to learn, and they love passing that on to the members of our community who want to learn.
And do you have any programs for kids who maybe don't want to get into the racing program, or maybe they're not much on terrain parks, but maybe they are interested in becoming an instructor someday? Is there a way for them to start learning the skills that are needed to become an instructor? Do you have any programs specifically for them?
Yeah, well, one program that we have that my understanding is very unique in the industry is called the Chair Rider Program. And this is a program where it's not always, but often the kids' first job. We start as early as age 14. And the chair riders, we pay them essentially to sit on the chair with the young kids that are in the lessons to help them get on the chair and get off the chair in a way that makes them feel comfortable, confident, and ready to go. And so they just go around and around. And when the group lessons come in, they sit next to the kids, they talk to them, and help them on and off the lift. And we've had that program for decades. And it's a it's a first foray into the instruction world for people who eventually stay on and continue to be instructors.
That sounds so smart that you're doing that because we've seen when our kids were little, they're trying to get the bar down with their poles. And I know that one of the prerequisites for some of the programs was that you could get the bar down. And there was a time where, there's a time when kids are too little to pull that weight down. So that probably opens it up for having these teenagers there to help them with that, which I'm sure the little kids think is very cool as well. That is so smart, and it seems like it's a win-win on all fronts.
Yeah, absolutely. As moms, we know that feeling when our little ones are going up the chair by themselves the first time. And so it's just so reassuring. Great for the kids, great for the young teenagers who are doing that program. And we have at the area Mighty Mike's program, so lesson programs that serve the little ones throughout the season, and they're connected closely with those chair riders.
So, a little more about the mountain. You were talking about the Mid Mountain Lodge. Where would is there a sit down place to brown bag it? And then is there a place that you absolutely love to get food on the mountain? Is there anything that's sort of Idaho specific? I mean, are there a lot of potatoes served? What's kind of the vibe in the lodges there?
Well, if French fries, I guess, qualifies as potatoes, and I can tell you right now that we go through a lot of French fries. So we have two main lodges where food and beverage service is available. In our main Simplot Lodge, it's cafeteria style with additional kind of fresh salad offerings. And also we added ramen station last year as well, which was a big hit. And then in our Pioneer Mid-Mountain Lodge, that is also kind of the traditional cafeteria fare. And then upstairs in the Pioneer Lodge, we have a taqueria. And so that is kind of burritos and tacos and taco salads and things like that. So on the back side of the mountain where the more expert terrain is, we have a ski in, ski out area. It's called the Beat. And it's almost like a large food trailer. And at the Beat, we serve upscale grilled cheese sandwiches, super delicious, melty, wonderful cheeses and different varieties of that. And that is where you kind of hang out in an Adirondack chair, have your sandwich and your beverage and just, kind of let it soak in.
Well, I was going to say you had me at tacos, but then you said melty cheeses. It was
Yeah.
all over for me. So now I'm
Midnight.
hungry. So I think this leads us to our favorite question that we always like to end with, which is, what does après ski look like for you?
Well, for me, no question about that. With the proximity we have to the community, my husband and I can, after work, get up to the mountain before 6 o'clock. If we leave at 5, we can be on our skis by 6 o'clock, take some runs under the lights, watch the sun go down in the Treasure Valley because you can see the valley below as the sun sets. And then after we take our set number of runs, we'll go into the Pioneer Lodge, which is just this cozy, woodsy, great bar, just fun atmosphere, fun music. You find just a great group of people there who are just, giddy about the opportunity that we have right there in our backyard. And so that's where you find me.
And what do you think is the absolute best thing there to order? Like, what would you recommend after our big ski day that we sample?
Well, my husband will get the bacon cheeseburger and fries. We have this amazing white bean chili that's just the right amount of spicy. And I get that. And then I eat a few of his fries. He will accuse me of eating most of his fries, but that's out. That's out for the jury, I guess.
That sounds good. White bean chili sounds fantastic. Well, Susan, we are so excited for all of this information that you shared with us. I am going to get to Idaho this year, and I think I'm skiing at Bogus Basin. And we'll see if Sarah's calendar can match up to it. But I'm super excited to get out there. It sounds fantastic from the picture you painted, but I think I need to ski it to believe it.
I think so, and we can't wait to welcome you out.
Hey, ski moms, we hope you enjoyed today's episode and got some great tips for your next family ski adventure. If you had as much fun listening as we did making this episode, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest episodes. And don't forget to rate and review us. Your feedback helps us bring you more of the content you love and helps other ski moms find our podcast. Plus, we love hearing from you. So whether you're on the slopes or just dreaming of your next snowy getaway, stay connected with us. Follow us on social media, share your favorite episodes with your friends, and let's keep this awesome community growing. Planning your next mountain holiday? Skip the crowded platforms and check out Ski Mom Family Rentals. a trusted space to find family-friendly homes in ski towns across North America. And if you're a homeowner, it's a smart way to get your property in front of like-minded ski families without the big fees. Whether you're booking your next getaway or want more visibility and bookings for your home, visit skimomfamilyrentals.com and make your mountain time matter.